Hi guys, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. I hope everyone is doing well. It is Thursday night. Brazil are playing. They've just gone 2-0 up. I'm here with Pat, and we're talking all things Man United. Hi everyone, welcome to the Man United Agenda. My name is Omundi Juma. I'm joined by the one to Pat Lawless, and we're back again 2 days in a row.
Oh no, I know. Do you know what? You were speaking so quick there. You were like commentating on a racehorse, and it's someone who's going to come down the left side, and it's Bolos on the right side. But thank you very much for the introduction, and welcome everybody to the chat. How much more can we give him, Andy? You know, how much more can we have to give to the cause?
Well, we are soldiers out here on the front line representing the Man United Agenda. And obviously the World Cup's on at the moment. So people would think, oh, why doing club football, that kind of thing. But there's been a saga, and there's been an ongoing saga going on in the club. We got Ronaldo went out. He's left a big drama. And also now the club owners, the Glazers, are looking to be booted out as well. But tonight we will be talking about a potential buyer for the club. We'll be going on to that later. And also, we want to talk about, because obviously there'll be a void with Ronaldo leaving. And we're going to talk about 2 potential signings, both Dutchmen. You might know if you're watching right now who we're talking about. But to one who's been at the club already and one who's a young prodigy coming through in the Dutch league. So there's always a bit of a risk, I suppose, buying from a Dutch league. You don't know if they're going to blow up or where we can really measure their standard. But we can watch them in the World Cup, both of them, which is a fruitful thing to do. How was your day, Pat? How's things going? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I'm enjoying the selective parts of the World Cup that I'm getting to watch. But I just heard that Richardson scored an Omundi Juma special.
Yeah,
an overhead kick.
Something I would definitely be proud of. Ball got played into him. He's on it in the box. He had his back to goal, kind of flicked it up and done a sort of a scissors kick right into the bottom corner and ran away delighted. That's his second goal of the game. What do you think of Richarlison before we go on? Yeah, do you think he's a good player? Because we were linked with him, and you know, he's been playing in the Premiership for a few years now. He's not prolific, but what's your thoughts on him as a player?
Okay. What did he do with Everton is where I'll judge him last, because everything before that is all really a transgression of where he's trying to get to. So he's obviously at a better club now, so now's his chance to prove himself in Spurs over Everton. I still don't rate him. Not that I don't rate him. No, I don't. He doesn't come across as I don't know what kind of striker he is. Is he a number 9 Andy Carroll that just hangs around the box, tries to be awkward, takes the ball down and goes for the header? Is that the kind of player he is? Not tonight now, he's scoring overhead kicks.
No, I think he's quite mobile. He's physically strong. He can work the channels. He's got a good strength as well, which you need in the Premiership. I wouldn't say he's overly skillful. He's not in that Brazilian mode, but he's a nightmare. He's for defenders, I think, in the way he gets about him, and he's got a bad attitude as well, which people like. He wind people up, you know, the way he is. He's a winner.
That little bit of craziness he has.
Yeah. But yeah, like we're yet to see him score 20+ goals in the Premiership. But he's been gone. He got sold from Watford for almost 50 million to Everton, and then Everton has sold him for 50 million again. So he's definitely a valued player.
He is a valued player, and he's a horse for a course for what you just said. He'll get you goals and he'll be awkward. But is that good enough for a top 4 team who expect minimum 10 to 15 goals a year, every year, and probably more if you're going for the league?
Well, Tottenham took a chance on him, didn't they? Took a punt on him, where they've got Song, they've got Kane, and they've got the Swedish dude as well, and others. And he can play in any of those positions. I think he's a bit versatile. He can come in off the left. He can play down the right, not so much, but down the middle as well. He can be a straight up replacement for Kane. So yeah, it's yet to be seen, but his stock will definitely go up after tonight's goal. Got to go and check it out after the show. Just want to talk about our sponsor first before we go in. We are now as it comes up, I will tell you we are sponsored by GMS, that's Global Mapping Surveys. They assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, and monitoring. Check out the link in the descriptions, guys. I'm just going to go through a few comments. Guess who's here? Surprise, surprise. It's the usual suspects. Big up Eddie Football Waffle. Obviously, go and check out his channel. He's doing bits. Eddie Football Waffle on YouTube. He's saying either striker would be a good option. He knows what we're talking about tonight. And desperate times, he's saying. Hi to Matthew Bassett all the way from Brummie, Birmingham. I don't know how Matthew, you've got to give us an update on how your Sunday team are getting on. I want to hear how you guys are faring in the Birmingham League. I don't know what it's called, but big up to you. And we'll see you on Friday on the Watchalong, 10 p.m. Big up to Bobby K. How you doing, man? I love how you give it the blue heart and the fist pump right back at you. Bill Baggio, how are you doing, bruv? Long time, well, not to say long time no see. We see you all the time, and we love having you on the show. Big up, Bill Baggio. He said, "Did you see the Richardson goal?" We just did, and the Bills get enough props and respect out here from everybody. Bill's just adding to this. I think Gakpo deal has pretty much been done for a while now. Yes, most definitely. And who else is in the house? We've got Mr. B. Mr. B must be converted. Matty's saying, big up to Steve RFC as well. And Big G saying, Pat hasn't done the GMS for a while. Has he relinquished responsibility?
The problem is, Big G, I done it once. I dropped the mic. I said, that's it. I'm retired. No more.
And big up Stuart Marshall. I don't know if you're back yet from your trip away, but the pictures look beautiful, man. It's a lovely part of the world you are, or the part of the UK you are in Somerset, around that region. Beautiful. And saw a lovely picture of you and your dog today. But anyway, let's get right back into it, because tonight we're talking about two players, guys. And I want your contributions, guys, as well. First of all, we're going to talk about Gakpo. Obviously, he's playing in the World Cup right now. I want your insight, because we don't know enough. We need some insight from you guys as well. Just read out this statement about Gakpo. Gakpo warned over Man United transfer as Chelsea are told to prioritise Kane over Ronaldo. So Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, he's doing a lot of media work at the moment, Jimmy, thinks Chelsea should prioritise the signing of Harry Kane rather than Man United star, former Man United star, Ronaldo. But Hasselbank reckons England international Kane would make a better addition, he told casinos, Grosvenor Casinos. Talking about Chelsea, and not now, I would have gone for Ronaldo for Chelsea in the summer, he said, for 1 year. But obviously now I have to think about priorities on the bigger stage in the summer. So this is for Chelsea he's talking about, because former Chelsea player. He said, I would try to persuade Kane to come to Chelsea. That would be a very controversial move, but surely he's going to want to win things. Surely he knows he's not going to win through Spurs. Surely he's not enjoying the way he's playing at the moment and where he's playing. I know they're doing all this shift for the team, but the majority of the time when they don't have the ball, he's 10 meters away from his own box. So this is a qualified striker talking about Harry Kane and his role at Spurs. You know, he says, so surely he's not going to want to be playing like that for the next 3 to 4 years. You know, surely he would want to be with a club that is going for it and is going to try and win trophies, or you're going to be closer to winning a trophy for him. They should go for him. So that's Hasselbank. Really and truly, there's more to that story, which I'm just going to read out now, because he went on to talk about Gakpo, Hasselbank here, and that was mainly about Kane. But what he said the PSV forward, Gakpo, has already made an impression in the World Cup, and there's another player linked to Manchester United. But Hasselbank warned about his compatriot about a move to the Premier League. He said it's a big step. He should know, obviously, he's come from the Dutch league as well, Hasselbank. He said Gakpo's an exciting player, very quick, very direct. In Holland, he's a big star. But the Dutch league is a lot different to the English league. Gakpo is looking at big clubs at the moment. Can he make the switch? And Hasselbank goes on to say, yes, I do think he can make the switch. Is Manchester United a big step? He says, very big. I think for him, it will go a tier lower than Man United. He should go a tier lower than Man United first. Because remember, Leeds were interested in him in the summer. He suggested he should go to a tier lower than Man United first and play week in, week out and progress, and then go to Man United or a Chelsea, one of the bigger clubs. He also goes on to say, if you look at it, if you look at all the Ajax players who went to Man United or Everton, they didn't work because the step was too big. And Gakpo needs to play week in, week out. Go to a Leeds or Southampton, with all due respect, play week in, week out, and get yourself back in the picture with them big clubs. And that will be for Van der Beek as well. So that's interesting, isn't it? From Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, qualified striker. He gets all the credentials. No problem about that. But Pat, over to you. Hasselbank saying there's a big jump from the Dutch league to the Premiership. Now, is that a myth, or do you agree with that? And let's talk Gakpo.
Well, Jimmy Floyd is a man speaking from experience, so you'd have to take what he's saying as, I wouldn't say gospel, but he's speaking from experience. So I tend to agree with him. But Gakpo, of all the players that we've been linked with so far, a 23-year-old, 6'4", supposed a striker, but does he not come across as he has a lot of similarities and traits to what we see in Marcus Rashford. He plays out on the left. He picks up the ball. He has that explosive pace. He's not afraid to take the shot on goal. But what I have seen from Gakpo so far, what I do like to see is that he's young and he's up and coming. So he started scoring goals around 2019-2020 season, and he got 8 in his second season. And then in the 21 season, he got 11. In the 22, he got 21. So he's improving every year. And then this year, he's got 13 goals so far. So to me, with the amount of goals he's scoring, he doesn't come to me as an out-and-out striker, but he does come as the kind of a player who plays off a striker or out to the left of a three-man attacking formation. So, but is that not what we have in Marcus Rashford already? Is he better than Marcus Rashford is my question. Is he younger or more up and coming?
Well, the thing is, first thing I would consider, I said, do we actually need him? We've got three up top, 3 forwards. We've got like Sancho, Martial, and Langa. That's 3. With Garnacho, Rashford, and Anthony. So that's 6 players there covering 3 positions, which is more than enough, because there's a big void, they're saying, with Ronaldo gone. But Ronaldo wasn't really getting games in the first place. So for me, I do think it would be nice to bring someone else in. But I would ask one question. Are we blocking someone coming through? One of the youngsters? But Garnacho's the guy who's coming through. Beyond that, it's only Charlie McNeil, I imagine. And he'd have to be amazing, in my opinion, for me, to bring someone in to cover Ronaldo's position. Granted, he can play across the front line. I've seen him play from the left, from the right, down the middle as well. He's got good attributes, but there is a question mark. This is the problem. And Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank makes a good point by stating that Dutch league is a big jump up and you need to have to the Premiership. And I don't know. I think for some players it is, some players it isn't. Depends what sort of attributes you have. When you look at players like Donny van der Beek, who looks wonderful in the Dutch league, wonderful in the Ajax side, he hasn't really done it at Manchester United or even Everton as well. So maybe he's not suited. So there is always going to be a question mark. But then you got players like Kezman, who scored enough goals in the Dutch league, came over to Chelsea and didn't really do it. Then you have someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy, who's getting a goal a game in the Dutch league. He's come over here and he got, in 150 games, he's got something like 100 goals almost for Manchester United. So it's a big risk, I believe. What do you think about the contrast between the 2 leagues there?
Before we get to the contrast of the 2 leagues, Omundi, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, and I'd be of the same opinion. We already have enough players for that position. We already have Garnacho, and don't forget we also have Hannibal Mabry, who's out on loan as well, who can play that position as well. We need players. We need strikers. We need a right back. And there's 1 or 2 other positions, but priorities would be strikers for me, and priority would be a right back for me, and maybe even a centre half. It all depends on how the rest of the year goes. But Gakpo would be a good addition to any team. But is he what Manchester United needs right now? I don't think so. But is it what Erik ten Hag wants at the moment? Maybe it could be. Maybe it could be part of it. It could be a part of the system that he wants to bring him in for. I don't know. It just feels like we're buying a player for an already overpopulated player. But you know what? Talking about people who are waiting in the wings to come in on Monday.
We're going to bring in Phil. Phil, are you there with us?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Well,
can you hear me okay now?
You say you got a very, very big echo coming through. Give us a sound.
Can you hear right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that all right now?
All right, let's go. Let's just go with it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you can touch down the volume. How you doing, Phil? My name's Omundi. We're here joined with Pat as well. Nice to have you on the channel. Do you want to just give us a little background, where you're from, and what you do? Because I hear you're a football coach, an ex-player.
Yeah, I'm not an ex-player. I'm just a football coach for under-11s kids football team. I'd never done coaching before, but I decided to take it on. A couple of years, including my own, was looking for an opportunity to get into a team. So myself and another guy decided to. We just took enough kids on, and we'd be able to form our own teams. We just started our second season now with the under-11s. I live up near Manchester. So I've got a right to claim my support for.
Oh man, Phil's trying his best, but it's just not happening for him tonight, Omundi, is it?
No, struggling out there, Phil. These internets, what was it, the modems and things struggle. Well, let's just continue the conversation, see if Phil comes back to us, because we're going to come to the comments very soon as well. So, like, Gakpo, we're going to watch him. Did you watch him in the first game for Holland? Or have you watched like recent games, internationals, or even in the Europa League? Because they were in Arsenal's group, weren't they? They beat Arsenal at the PSV. They beat Arsenal there. I watched that game. I've watched a couple of Dutch games as well, just to get a feel of him, because he's been on our radar for a long time, hasn't he?
So what do you think of him, Omundi? Because I haven't seen a lot of games of him, to be honest with you. So I was trying to catch up, but YouTube is a terrible one to watch because it always shows the best bits. It doesn't show the consistency throughout the game, and it doesn't show form. Obviously, you need to be watching a couple of games. So is he the type of player that he's betrayed? From what you can see on YouTube, does he look like another Marcus Rashford? Does he have the same kind of style? Does he hold himself the same?
I think with Dutch players, what you get is what you see, what you get. They're very intelligent. He's 23 years old. He's got good physical attributes. He's tall, like you said. He is similar to Rashford, playing in off the right. But I think he's really intelligent. I've seen him score headers in the box. He's very dangerous. He scored a header the other day in the World Cup. Got to the ball first and was brave enough to get there before the keeper and scored a header like that. So he's very intelligent, and he's not just about getting the ball and driving. He gets into position, he pops it off and waits for the right movement, right time to make the run, that kind of thing. That's why I think he could be in favour with Erik ten Hag, because he's already got those sort of attributes, mental attributes, position attributes, which Dutch players tend to have and which they're brought up on. As regards to whether he can adapt and whether he can get bullied, who knows? But we've seen him against Arsenal in 2 games, and he's done decent. He's done pretty well in a decent PSV team. So I'm saying this. I don't think it's essential. We've got players that we could develop. And like I said, we've already got 6 guys that I can name. But out of those 6, you've got Martial's been injured, so that would be a risk. How many of those 6 could play down the middle? We've got Rashford and Martial maybe, and maybe Elanga. But the others are sort of wide men, as in Sancho, Anthony, and Garnacho, and Elanga possibly. So it's a tough one. I wouldn't want to sign anyone just for the sake of signing somebody just because Ronaldo's gone. It has to be what the manager wants and whether he thinks he will have that impact, the major impact. That's the important thing. And I'm not sure. I'm still 50-50 about our boy Gakpo because of experience and because of what Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank just said. Shall we go for some comments?
Yeah, just one more thing before we do.
Yeah.
There's only one other option I can think of, and it's a long shot. Would he potentially be bringing Gakpo in to play on the left to move Marcus up front? Now, I know you wouldn't agree with me by saying putting Marcus up front, but would he be potentially putting Boy and Gakpo to play him out on the left to move Marcus up front and in time move Marcus on?
This is the thing. I don't like that idea because I think we've got Sancho. I think Sancho plays better off the left. And I think when we play sort of inside forwards or inverted wingers with the opposites playing from the opposite foot from which side, whatever. So we've got Anthony. Anthony's a left-footed player. He plays on the right. He's going to be a first-team player for sure. Yep. Then we've got Diallo. I was going to talk about Diallo, who's on loan at London at the moment and seems to be doing really well now he's getting games. These people are starting to represent. He's got his own chant. The Sunderland fans seem to love him. This is the level below at the Championship. So he's developing. Maybe he'll be ready. And he's left-footed and he's playing on the right. So with Sancho, Martial, Rashford, all 3 players being able to play off the left, I think we're going to crowd that position too much, like we did when the next guy we talk about, Depay, came into the club and Martial was there already. Do you see what I'm saying? It's too many. That was too crowded.
Every conclusion you came to there, we spoke of another player that can already fill that void. So why would we need Gakpo regardless of the young lad's quality?
There you go. I don't want to sort of squash it completely. I want to know what other people are saying in the comments. So let's go to the comments and see what people are saying about this, because it's been there for ages. People have been talking about this for ages. So Matthew Bassett is saying Gakpo can be converted, but I prefer a proper number 9. So rather than someone who can play in several positions, he wants an out-and-out number 9. Dan C, how you doing, Dan? Dan was on with us the other day. Hope you're doing well, Dan. Big up, man.
Dan.
Good to meet you the other day. Bill Badger saying, as a strike. Sorry, by the way, go and check out Dan C's channel. It's a Red United.
Red Devils TV.
Red Devils United TV. Yeah, big up, man. Bill Badger saying, as a striker, I think Gakpo can do it. But if we're buying him to play off the left, what the F are we doing? We've got Rashi and Sancho there. There you go. Bill Badger on the same page.
Bill smashes it.
Big staying here. If we go for Kane, I would also like Song too.
Yes, just show Haaland into the mix and maybe
yeah.
Rod De Bruyne as well.
Matthew Bassett saying, with everyone that's been announced as wanting to buy United, who would you want ideally out of all parties interested? We're going to talk later, just later on in the show, about another interested party. We're going to go into a bit more detail about that. Robbie Norman saying he's agreed with United before the Anthony deal, so wages not a problem. It's just the price after the World Cup. Yeah, if he smashed it in the World Cup, the price might be doubled almost. Song's better than all our attackers, says Box. I saw Song play earlier today with his mask on. He was looking good. Dan saying, for me, and a player like Gakpo and Leao, Rafael Leao from AC Milan, are developmental players, left wingers that no doubt will get moved to the centre. I would play more centrally. I would love both at Manchester United. I prefer Rafael Leao over Gakpo for sure. He's an effective attacker, says Matthew Bassett. Saragon, how you doing? Says Ten Hag has adapted his formations pre-Haller and deployed false nines as well. So we don't actually have a false 9 in the club, do we? A loan for Felix would be great.
Not your choice in anyway, Amanda.
That's true. But it could be adapted. João Felix, he scored today for Portugal against Ghana. A loan for him would be good from Atletico Madrid. Oh, yeah, he's a talented player for sure. Dan again saying we have a lot of quantity, not enough quality. What I mean by that is that we have a big squad, but majority of our bench players aren't good enough, like Van der Beek, Elanga, Fred, Wan-Bissaka, etc. Don't know if you guys agree with that, but he's got a good point. Matthew Bassett saying Felix is better playing as a striker. Kesman was smacked off his tots, says Omundi, says Bill Baggio. Henrik Larsson's son is decent. I haven't seen him, Saragon. So
never seen him, but if he's acting like his father, bring him straight to Old Trafford.
Sure. Big G saying, who would we get for the number 7 shirt? Obviously, he's got to be a world-class player. If money is no object, Sancho for me. Felix wants to leave Atletico Madrid. So, yeah, we get some feel. My ideal player with Gavi and Pedri. These are the 2 beautiful players coming out of Barcelona, midfielders. Miss Melina, how are you doing, girl? On her road to recovery. We're praying for you. Said, shout out to Omundi and Pat, the brothers. Yes, we are. Saragon saying, keep Ahmad at the Sunderland and let him develop. Yeah, I agree. Wait, let him come back at the summertime. Gavi's unreal, says Big Bill Badger. I think he's better than Pedri, although Pedri is very good. Miss Melina saying hello to everyone as she does. Gakpo is not for me, says Stuart Marshall. That's where I'm at. I'm 50-50 because Stuart Marshall. Hi, Hydro. How you doing, man? Big up. Because Stuart Marshall, as we know, Stuart Marshall has got this little love relationship going with Ivan Toney. And we don't got to bet on it.
Or as he says, my man, Tony.
And Miguel, how you doing? Big up, Miguel. I hope you're doing well. Miguel says, I love Gakpo, but in what position? Well, he's all over the place, isn't he? He can play anywhere. So big up, man. Big up to Miguel. I hope you're doing well. And this guy, Raspadori from Napoli. From Napoli, there's a winger, Georgian winger, isn't there, that I think is fantastic. But he's just been signed, so I don't think that's available at the moment. But I have to look up that guy. So anyway, that's Gakpo. I'm going to say, with me, because we talk about this all the time, Gakpo, I'm going to watch the World Cup, see how he plays there at the big stage, and then we'll make a better assessment then. But at the moment, I'm like that. I'm sort of 50-50, and it's getting worse because I don't think we should be signing anyone that's maybe going to be a squad player, because I can't see him being a first-team player. Your final thoughts on Gakpo, please, Pat?
If he was signed tomorrow, it wouldn't be the end of the world for a player who's been improving for the past 3 to 4 seasons and increasing his goal tally every single time. So, Omundi, if he moves from the left where he's averagely getting about 20 goals in the Dutch league, do you think he'd get more goals as a centre forward?
I think some players can get eaten up. As we see with Casemiro, he's come into the league and he's been in Spain, bossing things, quite physical. And he played against Anana at Everton. He's getting munched. He's going to have to adapt. And I think Gakpo would have to, the same would apply as well. It's just the physicality of the league. And I don't know, we maybe have to do a show on it, whether it is a myth or not. Thank you, Pep Miguel. He's saying Kachovic is the Napoli guy. Yeah, go check him out. I love this guy. I think he's outrageously good. And Saragon saying Chicharito as stopgap loan while MLS is on off season. Is he still going? Is he still playing? I'm not sure. And anyway,
bring him back just for a sentiment.
Well, talk about sentiment, about bringing people back. We're going to talk about Depay because we've recently brought back Ronaldo and it didn't work out. Depay, obviously, we know Louis van Gaal bought him from PSV, came to us as a young pretender. I think there was a story about him being a bit flash. Obviously, he's got a rap career on the side as well. But he turned up in a Rolls Royce training one time, and I think that rubbed a few people out the wrong way. But it didn't work out for him at Man United. But he's gone on to Lyon, sort of played off the left initially, gone off to Lyon, became their talisman, and attracted some interest in world football because of his ability. Started scoring goals, started playing more centrally as well. And then Barcelona signed him when they were going through a bit of a crisis and trying to patch their team up. They brought him in. It hasn't really worked out for him there, but he's available on the free. And apparently we'll be able to get him. I'm just going to read out a little statement here about our boy who used to play for Man United, who could be coming back. So Man United are in a dilemma ahead of the January transfer window as they weigh up the signing of a forward. Following Ronaldo's sacking from the club, Ten Hag wants to sign a versatile forward. Okay, so we know now he wants to sign a versatile forward. And the club are in two minds about the player of choice. Sport reports that one of them is Barcelona's Memphis Depay, while the other is PSV's Cody Gakpo. The report also says that United will only make a move for Memphis Depay in January if Barcelona agree to terminate his contract. They are not ready to offer money for him and would rather save up to splash it on a younger forward like Gakpo in the summer. So in the summer, yeah. Memphis has some demons of his own. Sorry, not demons, demands. I'm butchering the guy. Sorry about that, Memphis. Though, as has been rumoured in the past, he will only agree to leave Barcelona in the winter for two major conditions. One of them being the payment of the rest of his contract in full. The second, however, is more difficult as he wants to join a team playing in the Champions League. The final decision will be eventually in Memphis' hands. Who knows what the last 6 months of his contract will bring. He has all the leverage over Barcelona. So here we go. So we've heard it all now. So the manager wants a versatile forward. He is a versatile forward, as with Gakpo. He's been at Man United before. He's a Dutch player. I don't know. What do we think about this guy, Memphis, man, coming back? Is that short-term thing? Is it a long-term thing? Will he really push us on at his age, in his peak of his career, to get top 4? Pat, over to you.
Well, our position now at the moment is, I think, to get somebody with quality, we're only going to get them on a free in anyway, unless we pay mega bucks for somebody. And until this club is sold, I can't see any mega bucks happening. If the club is going to be sold in the next, let's say, if it takes 10 weeks, we may not even get any signings in January if we don't get rid of the Glazers before then. So we may have to go for somebody like Depay. Would he be worth a punt? Yeah, of course he would. He has nothing to lose. If he does well for 6 months, he can get an improved contract and he can see out the rest of his career from 28 years of age at Manchester United and stake a bit of claim for himself. Has he got goals? He surely has. Like, he left us and he went to Lyon, right? From 2018 to 21, he had 22 goals 1 year, 12 the following, 15 and then 22. Now, I know it's the French league and it's not the best league in the world, but he's not. It's put it this way, it's going to be an improvement on probably what we have at the moment, which is going to be not enough players. Last year, he scored on his first year at Barcelona. He got 13 goals in 28 games, which is not bad. And then he only got 1 goal so far this season, but he's only played 2 games. So Memphis Depay, did I enjoy him when he was playing well at Manchester United? Yes, I did. Unfortunately, that was when Luke Shaw was at his peak before he broke his leg. And they made some good runs, good overlapping runs between the two of them. Did a bit of cohesion together, and I liked what I saw. If what hadn't happened to Luke Shaw, maybe things could have been different from Memphis. But we hear the stories, we hear the Rolls Royce, we hear the 4 jackets, we hear all them stories. We think, well, He's 28 now. There's a big difference between a 28-year-old and a young lad in his 20s is massive. So if I was Memphis Depay and I got the opportunity to play for Manchester United as a 28-year-old with a chance to prove myself and get a contract in the summer if I played well for one transfer window, I would take it. Should we take it? He's not a bad option at the moment, lads, because there's never a lot of opportunities or players out there in January.
Good. I really like that, Pat. Just going to ask the comments now. They're saying, Hydro say the best signing will be the new owners. Glazer's out soon, he hopes. Hijacker saying Memphis is almost free. Obviously, his contract runs out 2023 in June. Bill Badger saying, in all seriousness, if we could add Gakpo and Depay in January, they would be massive boost to see out the rest of the season.
You read my mind.
Strikers, eight forwards, sorry. Hijacker saying, give him 3-year contract. Boxer saying Martial, Memphis and Rashford feels like 2015, 16 all over again. We're going back in time. Depay not free. Depay for free is not bad, says Miguel. Emma is, how you doing, Emma? Saying, I'm more worried about our midfield than our forward line, to be honest. But we are talking about Ronaldo going. I mean, that's a void, or is it a void? I'm not sure. Bill Baggio saying, for me, Depay was here too young. He will come back a more confident, experienced player. He could be a big player for us. Okay, so there's a bit of favour here. Big G's finally saying Depay is a better number 10 than Bruno. Okay. What I do know about Depay with his game, look, he is a talisman. I think at Lyon, that was the right stage for him because he was the main man. They gave him that mantle and he sort of ran with it. I just think coming to a club at Man United at 28 years old, you should be in the peak of your career. You should be that main man at Man United as well. I don't think he would be. I don't think he would be better than Martial, Rashford, Sancho. It would be a rotational thing, quite possibly, and he would have to accept that role. And he's talking about wanting Champions League football, as we read in the quote there, and wanted to sort of they would have to release him, and that means him being paid up the rest of his contract from Barcelona for the last few months. If those two things happen, I would take him for a couple of years, bring him in, but I just don't see that as a positive move forward. I just see it as a temporary fix for any issues that we might be having at the moment. And so I'm in two minds. I need more convincing. Pat, help me out here.
I would be happier financially in our current affairs. I think he would be excellent as a short-term contract. If he performs, he can get a long-term contract because we can't have any more players as passengers because we have enough of them at the moment who are not doing anything. So as much as I want to see players come in, I don't want to see the wrong type of players rushed in and then we're stuck with them for another year and we're looking at them going, we haven't got enough players to bring onto the pitch or we haven't got enough subs. And then we're like, oh yeah, but Memphis Depay and Phil Jones and so are sitting there on the bench and you're going, oh, I'm not putting up with this again. And I don't think Eric Ten Hag will rush it either, to be quite honest.
Just to go through a few more comments here, Matthew Bassett said, I think the manager changed, put an end to Depay. Jose was never going to use a player like that. So when Jose came in, obviously, it wasn't the sort of player Matthew Bass saying that Jose would get behind. Bill Barry saying, I'm with Emma Kay. I would like more defenders and midfielders. Box is saying Memphis has an ego of a Ballon d'Or winner. He does. Endrick is a good prospect, Brazilian player. Obviously, we know he's just turned 16, started playing for the first team, senior team, and doing really well after smashing it and being like the main guy, wonder kid out there. But that's another 2-3 years away, isn't it? Because we can't sign players like that until they're 18. But yeah, all the big clubs seem to be in for him for 60 million. I think they've priced him at so far. MUFC Realist TV, how you doing? Says you get your double Dutch in January, Depay for free. And Depay has a point to prove if he returns. Matthew Bassett again saying recently said that PSG have started those negotiations with him. They're talking about Endrick, maybe. Okay, maybe. All right. Big G saying right back first, like you were saying, Pat, Emma. Centre midfield second, and third is a centre forward priority because we have got players in those positions at the moment. And Miguel, I really love your input. Saying Endrick to Madrid, PSG, or Chelsea. Yeah. And finally, Emma here is saying, yeah, we've got some good academy players coming through, and being a forward is a bit more forgiving position in a way, as long as you track back. Yeah, that's true. So there you go, Depay. I said I was like that with the first guy, Gakpo, also a Dutch guy, but he's the young guy coming up. I don't know how high his ceiling is. Whereas Depay, I know he's a good player. He is a very good player, but I think his ceiling is at a level which is not maybe as good as Martial and Rashford, and I don't know Anthony. And he could cause problems with his ego if he comes with a squad rotation role. Would he accept that? There's so many question marks with both guys. So with both guys, I can't be decisive. But the good thing about it, Pat, we can watch them both in the World Cup and then make our decision later after the World Cup. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm a similar opinion yourself. Gakpo looks like a prospect, similar to what we have already. If he's brought in by Eric Ten Hag, he's not bringing them in here to do the same position of other players that we already have. So he's bringing them in to improve them, or he sees something in them. So that could be a possibility. If Eric Ten Hag can sit down with Memphis Depay and have an adult conversation and say, "Is this what you want to do? Are you willing to do it?" And if he has that conversation and he's convinced by what Memphis Depay says and he brings him on board, well, then we have to trust the manager, and it's a good call. So,
what are you sitting on the fence, Pat? Are you sitting on the fence?
really, on both of them, I'm not a yes or a no for either one of them. I've got splinters in my backside at the moment.
All right, I just want to say, unfortunately, we can't be joined by Phil, but go and check out Phil's channel. We'll give you the details a bit later. But Phil's in the private chat, and he is saying Depay is 100% no-brainer for me. So he's saying we should definitely go for Depay. And so that's someone who's being conclusive here. And Phil's also saying we've had too many injuries this season. That's a possibility as well. So even though I'm talking about 6 players in Garnacho, Elanga, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Martial, the injuries as well. So if we really want to push on, we should actually get another forward in, according to Phil. And finally, Phil's saying as well, Gakpo and Memphis and Depay, it's a possibility. Get 2 players in, leaves us with it gives edges out Elanga, but I want to see the progression of Garnacho. I don't want someone to come in and stifle up his place. But Phil, thanks for the contributions. Keep coming in, bring them in. I will read them out in private chat. So can we be conclusive about this, guys? Miguel's saying that you guys are doing a great job. If you're talking about us, thank you, Phil. Not Phil. Thank you, Miguel. Miguel, thank you so much. Miguel, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate everyone who comments in. We really gives us a boost. And we love to sort of have a chat with you. And whenever you're ready, guys, you're always welcome to come on the show if you want to show your face and join us, you guys. I want to say hi to the boss man Solo. He's saying MUFC Realist TV. Looking forward to seeing you next Thursday. Most definitely. Big G finally saying, I know Ten Hag is Dutch, but I'm concerned with signing just Dutch players all the time. I know they have a good pedigree, but there are other better players from other nationalities too, which is true as well. So I'm on the fence with both of these guys. I don't know how you feel, but yeah, we will assess it again, I think, after the World Cup when they've had more game time to really check it out. And who's this now? Someone from the Man United agenda chipped in.
That's Phil's comment. I stuck it in there from the private chat.
Okay. Phil was saying Sancho needs more time to settle under the Ten Hag style. He's had his moments, but still to find his feet under Ten Hag.
And I agree with that because
why?
Sancho has changed from 3 managers now, is it? SHAH, Rangnick, and now Ten Hag. And he's changed his style of football. He probably hadn't got a clue what he's doing under Ollie and Rangnick. And now all of a sudden, he's probably like, what am I doing here? Is this a football team or a hockey team? What am I doing here? And now all of a sudden, he's under Eric Ten Hag with a man who's strict, knows what he wants. This is what you're going to do. And it's probably a little bit overwhelming at the same time. And I know he's a professional footballer and he should be able to take it to a duck like water. But these chaps are only human at the same time. And people need time to gel and settle. He just needs to be not injured at the moment, which is a massive plus as well.
Just to say, yeah, guys, the Man United agenda, we like involvement and participation from you guys. So, yeah, we love the comments. We always try to read them out. Emma's saying here, but responded to Big G, because Big G says, we don't want to sign another Dutch player. Why are we buying Dutch? There's other players around the world. But she's saying we've only signed 1 Dutch player under Ten Hag so far. But we have signed Dutch graduates like Christian Eriksen, who's come through the ranks, and Anthony as well. Brazil look awesome, says Zoe Media House. Zoe Media House, who are you? Welcome to the Man United agenda. Big up, nice to see you on the show. Petty Talk, wow. Do you remember
the man
from TikTok? Petty, you heard my message, man. It's a shout out to you again. Let's get you back on the show, man. Hope you're feeling well and everything's good. And also here, Miguel saying it would be an honor to join you guys. I'll keep you in the know. Yeah, make sure you do. Just message us. You know where to find us, man. We have an honor to have you on. I want to say hi to Gakpo. Rajat. He says, "Go Paul." I don't know what that means. Go Portugal. He's got Ronaldo, Portugal player there, and Man United Agenda saying Gakpo price will go up. He wants to join us now, so we have to get him while we can. If we don't, we're going to regret it. I know it's been a different league, but the stats this season are ridiculous. They cannot be ignored. And now he scored in the World Cup debut as well. So price is going up right there. And Big G saying to Emma, probably they should have Dutch league as well as Dutch nationality as well. Am I reading out Phil's comments here? Yeah,
that was Phil's comment the last one. And in fairness, we've got some nice new faces in the crowd tonight. So make sure you're giving us a like and a subscribe, guys, because it's great to have you around. And it's even better to have our main man, Petty Talk, back in here. We have to get him back in the hot seat.
Petty Talk saying, message sent on TikTok now, mate. Free anytime. Big up. We welcome back. He's back from injury. He's been in the treatment room, and he's going to join us again.
He has the hole up in the bedroom. He's like this. Come on.
Zoe Media House saying, hey, guys, thanks for the welcome. Always welcome, Zoe. Thanks for joining us, girl. And Andy Long, how you doing? He said, if Eric Ten Hag can get the best out of them, I don't care what nationality player he signs. It's true. Do you have a WhatsApp group, says Miguel? You can message us on Twitter and things like that. We talk about this just towards the end of the show. Ranjet saying, me in Portugal. He's talking about Portugal to the Man United Agenda. And big one, good one by my brothers. Yes, Petty, you are my brother. And Petty, I always look out for your shows on TikTok. Go and check out Petty Talks on TikTok, guys. All right, 20 watching now. Make sure you press the like button. We're going to finish off with something I don't know much about. I'm just going to read this statement here. Because as you know, the Glazers are about to sell in. If you would have watched the last two shows, it's all been kicking off right now at Man United Football Club. So this guy called Ortega, Ignacio Ortega, a Spanish billionaire, registers interest in buying Manchester United. Look at the picture. He looks very old, doesn't he?
He looks like one of the grandfathers on the Muppets, doesn't he?
Yeah! You know the 2000 theatre. You know the two... Oh, Pat, definitely. From the Muppets. Oh, my God, that's him. Oh, God. Wow. Let's hope... My God, I can't believe it.
All right, back to being serious.
I got to hide his face because I end up laughing. I've got to read this out now, Pat. On the money, Pat. So Ignacio Ortega, owner of the fashion train Zara, okay, I've heard of them, has emerged as a potential candidate to buy Manchester United. On Tuesday night, the Glazers revealed in a statement that they were open to selling the club. Pat, don't make me laugh. Look at him, the 86-year-old. Wow, he's very old. He says, who is estimated to have a fortune of $61 billion, as per Forbes, the Forbes magazine said, is understood to have informed senior executives of his interest in Manchester United following Tuesday's announcement. Ortega, who previously invested in real estate in Madrid, Barcelona, London, Chicago, Miami, and New York, but has yet to venture into the sporting world. He is tempted now. Is he tempted now? The question mark. According to the Manchester Evening News, Ortega joins a list of potential investors, including Apple and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who we talked about yesterday, after expressing his interest. Samuel Luckhurst, who reports Ortega owns 59% of Inditech, and last year appointed his daughter, okay, at least he's invested in his family, Maria Ortega Perez, as the chairwoman of Zara Fashion Train. His Artecchio company that operates the 8 retail stores generated around 27 billion in the year to January 2022. These are the early days, and we're likely to see more billionaires added to the list before a bid is made. The Glazers' asking price remains unknown, and multiple figures doing the rounds, so they're likely to test the waters over the coming months. Hopefully, a solution can be found before next season. So this is the owner of Zara. He's 86 years old. He's recently sort of passed things down to his daughter, so he can't, he's not going to crock on the job. What do you think about that? It's the first time I'm hearing about it. What do you guys think in the comments? Pat, what do you think about this guy? I've never heard of him before.
Feels like somebody's opened up the Forbes magazine for the 100 wealthiest men, and they're just going to pick a different one every day until they get it right.
Yeah.
He's just another wealthy man. Is he going to be the right person for Manchester United? I don't know. But the one who fits the mold for us at the moment would be Ratcliffe, because he has the Manchester United fan in his blood. So I tend to lean towards himself. But whoever this chap is, Mr. Ortega taking over, he'll have to make sure he clears the debt, as FC United forever said last night, of the 1 billion that's currently outstanding. So there's a lot of money to invest before he can purchase the club. So it's a lot of money.
Most certainly. And as we were saying, like FC United forever, she's got so much financial knowledge and in the know, much more qualified than me and probably you as well, Pat, when it comes to all these details. So we do appreciate you guys contributing to the show and give us a bit more insight into it. I'm not going to talk on this because you know me, I'm terrible with finance and all that kind of thing. But I will say Matthew Bassett's giggling about the Muppets. He sees it too. You're old enough to remember. Pat's showing his age, but yeah, the two Muppets characters in the theatre, that's definitely one of them. Sorry, I was going to show it again, but I'm not. He's gone now. Sarragan saying NQAT United Rant recently did a really good podcast on the United sale and how the finances work. Okay, I'll go check that out just to get more because I feel shame coming on the show not being able to discuss it. Emma K saying people are talking about Amazon or Apple being interested. I honestly don't want them. It's more sports washing bull. Robbie Norman saying Junior Soprano. Box Carolier is like an old mafia man. He is, isn't he? You take people out. Miguel saying, I heard Dubai also interested. There you go. So the Middle East, they're always going to be sniffing around. They've got money.
Sorry, Omundi, was that the Dubai investment group, Miguel, you're speaking about? The one we were talking about last night, the ones that are 320 billion. They must have a license to print money. Do you have that much of it?
Good. MUFC Realist TV, big up for great talking points. Thank you. Big G saying the good and positive thing, there seems to be a lot of interest for the full sell, saying bye-bye to the Glazers. Emma G saying how many were there for Liverpool. Liverpool up for sale as well, aren't they, Pat, at the moment?
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Your Badger saying, well, he owns Sarah. He shouldn't be really wearing skinny jeans. If you're wearing spray-ons, I mean, wouldn't have to get them off. Stumpy Candletop, how you doing? He said, we're already known by the Muppets.
It just keeps on going, doesn't it?
And if anyone says that I look like Bert, as in early with my hair top like that, don't you dare! I will find you. I will find you. Ernie and Bert, hilarious. Let's see. Statford and Waldorf. There they are. Stadler and Waldorf. You know, a bit like Mortimer from. They sort of remind me of the characters from Trading Places, Mortimer and thing. But yeah, funny, absolutely funny. Sorry, that's giving me the giggles tonight. Jim or Ilton would get my vote.
Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon Musk. Okay, I think he's a fraud, that guy. But yeah, he's got a lot of money apparently. Big G saying would be funny if the Glazers took over Liverpool. Zoe saying please no Middle Eastern owners.
Can I touch on that? Can I touch on that? Was always saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is only just me speaking out of turn here. I don't know. I'm not proud. I'm not an expert on any of this kind of thing, right? But it used to be American owners. First of all, JP Morgan from Manchester United, and then it was the Glazers. It was the same with Liverpool, American owners. Now all of a sudden, the American owners seem to be moving out of Liverpool, seem to be moving out of Manchester United, and the tide seems to be turning. Is it a case that the American owners have the money, but they just don't have the money of the Middle East owners? And as the tables are turning now, and there's more money for these people to own the clubs and to be able to invest more into it and get more out of it. And this is where the American the clubs just can't hack it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's people like Gakpo and all that, and American owners who have 300 billion and more and more and more. But it just seems that way from the outside looking in, that the tide is turning and there's more money for the Middle Eastern owners. Not that we want them, but this is what I'm just saying. And with Liverpool going for sale there recently, I kind of get a feeling myself that if you imagine Joe Glazer and everybody would be in the know, right? And just like a football player being sold, an agent who's trying to sell Liverpool or trying to promote Liverpool to people to buy it would have been splashing this information around. And the information obviously would have got back to the Glazers. And the Glazers would have heard, oh yeah, Liverpool have this company called Dubai Investment Group worth 320 billion and they're interested in buying Liverpool. Joel Glazer, yep, Manchester United for sale straight away. Put her up. Yeah. He's out the front with a hammer himself, putting it down for a sale as soon as he found out with that. So this is what makes me think that the American fellas are trying to get out of the market because there's other companies coming in with more money now, and this is their time to make their profit on it, basically.
Good response. Zoe, what's your reason for no Middle Eastern owners? My reason would be I want it to be British. I think you don't want to lose that identity. And I think I don't want the whole league to be owned by foreign investors all the time, because we lose our identity for British football. And I think that's important. British football is something special. We've always had our own ID. And even who's the Blackburn owner, Jack Walker, he came through as someone who made his money in England, in the UK, invested it in his local club. And that's a success story. It was successful a few years while it lasted, you know. So I don't like the idea of that. I just think it would be too easy for us to be splashing out money on players and buying those big marquee players, when really I want to see us have an identity where we can bring youngsters through and be battling against clubs like Newcastle and Man City that do have the money. It will make us feel more authentic, I believe. But anyway, just a couple more comments before we shut down, because we haven't got long left, guys. We need more rich sheiks, says a box. Yeah, Mortimer Randolph. Yeah, the Dukes, yes. Brilliant. I love that trading place. Zoe's saying, I don't think like Ratcliffe's involvement with Brexit, where he was a key figure, and now that decision is affecting our economy. I don't think he's a good guy. Just to add to that, there was a comment by Phil in the private chat. I'm going to read that in a sec. Realist TV saying, Erik ten Hag never deviates from his targets. We know he wants Gakpo. They have the same age.
So,
okay, there's a deal that will happen. John Murtagh has advanced talks with Rudd in the summer, but CR7 stayed. Okay, so there you go. Here we go. Man United agenda says, if the buyer puts money into the club like they have with the FTA, into the development of the stadium, youth facilities, and the training grounds and all that, the players, the Middle East owners could well be the answer. Okay, there you go. So we've seen what they've done with Man City, develop the area as well.
It seems like, regardless of people wanting them there or not, it seems like the inevitable is happening and the tide is turning and they're coming in whether you like it or not, because money talks at the end of the day.
For sure. Thanks for putting that comment in. Emma is saying, I would love us to be a family-owned, but a competent family, not someone like the Glazers, if you don't mind. I don't mind if it's a Middle Eastern family, but something might pop up, then I might worry. And last one, Boxer said, I don't want Ortega buying us. Not a fan of Zara's latest autumn collection. Is Zara women's clothing?
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure, but I don't buy any clothes.
Anyway, that's enough. We talked tonight about Gakpo, we talked about Depay, and we talked about Ortega, or the Muppet guy, or we call it 86-year-old, who pointed out, that was... I have to. Why do you have to do that during the show? You put me off, put on form. But anyway, guys, we're really grateful to you guys for tuning in. As you know, with the Man United agenda, we're on most nights 8:30, but we might go at 9 o'clock. Don't you think, Pat? Might do a couple of shows at 9 o'clock, especially tomorrow when England are playing.
Will you let us know in the comments afterwards, guys? Because we're afraid to deviate away from the 8:30 time, because that's a slot we always work to, and we try to keep it for the same time, because people who are of different time zones kind of know we come on at that time. But if you think it's a bit better while the World Cup's on, let us know in the comments, and we'll go a little later when we know the football's over. Or we'll work it around the football times as best we can.
Well said, Pat. Sorry, they're just talking about the 50+1 rule, Bill and Big G. That's for another show, I imagine. And Miguel saying thanks for the stream. And Boxer saying Harry Maguire is going to smash the Yankees. Before we finish, guys, just the England game tomorrow. So we might start at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Rather than sort of go at 8:30, because I know you all want to watch the USA versus England. Just thoughts on that game, the Irishman. Pat, any tips for us?
Oh, I tell you one thing: the USA team, they're underdogs, man. They'll come out and they'll come and get you. So just like the previous game, you want to be on your guard now. I would not be taking the USA lightly. That's for sure.
And I just want to talk about a couple of things. So Uruguay played today. We had Palestri, who played on the right of midfield, sort of like a 4-4-2 that they had, and he played pretty decent. In a sort of, it was a 0-0 result, wasn't it? Palestri was playing in, and then
Palestri's getting very high regards by his fellow teammates. So I hope this progression continues.
And also with Brazil, we had Casemiro playing in the centre of midfield, bossing things. He had a lot of time and space today. They won. I think they won the game. Obviously, Richarlison, another Premiership player, scored a goal. And obviously tomorrow, England are playing against. We've got Luke Shaw, Rashford, and Harry Maguire, and then we've got Wales, and they're playing Iran, which is maybe for second place. But yeah, a lot of football on at the moment, as Stumpy's saying, after the England game. So, Stumpy, you're the boss around here. We will start at 9 o'clock. 7-0. It'll be 7-0, says Robbie Norman. And Big G finally says, Canada were impressive. I know they lost, but they were impressive dark horses. They were. They had a lot of legs and a lot of energy to them, didn't they? Shame they missed that penalty. But anyway, I want to say bye from Phil as well. Phil, it's a shame you couldn't join us today. We're really looking forward to work with you today.
There's one more comment in there from Phil. There is.
Okay, I'll do 2 more, guys. Zoe Media House has been typing, and she's saying this. So listen, guys, listen up. Zoe's saying, I don't want Middle East owners because I did ask the question. Because look at the City and Newcastle fans. They would sell their mothers for a trophy. The Middle East has too many humanitarian issues to be associated with our name. Yeah, we don't want any sort of negative
no, we don't
publicity, do we? That's a good one there. And 700 to 1 on Costa Rica winning the World Cup.
Put your house on the box. Put your house on
it. So Phil will come on again once he gets his Wi-Fi sorted. But he's saying, thank you for having me backstage. Apologies for the technical issues. There's no problem. He says, if a buyer puts money into the club, like they have with the Etihad and the development of the stadium, I've read that already. The players, okay, would be the answer. Yeah. So guys, big up to everyone who tuned in today. We're signing out. Pat, do you want to say goodbye? And I'm going to sign out from here.
Please don't show the owner of Zara that I called him one of the Muppets. I don't want to lose my house.
He looks like a gangster, doesn't he? So you don't want him coming after you, Pat. After that,
well, I don't want to hear the crutch touching out my window later on. Hey, yo.
I've got to go back and look at the comments and find the name of those 2 Muppet characters. That's really buzzed me tonight. Big up, Pat. Thanks for giving me a belly laugh tonight. And thanks to all you guys in the comments for tuning in again. We'll be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow on instruction from Stumpy Candletop. Because of the England game, obviously, let's all watch the England game and then jump on to the Man United agenda. And don't forget, 10 p.m. we've got the takeaway as well with TalkMU and Mr. B. But from myself and Pat, 2 days running. Who knows? Might be 3 actually good shows with me and Pat tomorrow. But we were signing off. Get some sleep, get some rest, and we'll see you Friday at 9 p.m. Later.